remember that smart individual Tori that decided to call ICE on those Hyundai factory workers last week? Well, I got an update for y'all. So if you haven't heard about this situation already, that individual Tori decided to call ICE on Korean factory workers trying to build a new Hyundai factory in Georgia so Americans can get jobs. And in that ICE raid, over 400 workers got arrested. Come to find out later that a lot of them had valid work visas ICE just never bothered to check. Not only did they not check to see if a lot of them had valid visas, but that pissed the Korean government off so bad, they had a charter plane come get those remaining immigrants that were released and had them go all the way back home, basically ending that project. In turn, Trump and Georgia officials are now pissed because not only would that have brought billions of dollars to Georgia economy, but it also would have brought over 8,500 new jobs to Georgia. So Georgia in the U.S. lost out on billions of dollars in revenue and 8,000 plus potential jobs because of one individual in ICE. And she must be feeling the heat because she took down that page I just showed y'all and she created her a new TikTok account.
You know it's really bad when she makes international Korean news. Because JTBC News, a Korean news network, decided to air a little bit of a segment on her.
Jobs away, you build a new plant here, you give tax cuts on the back of Georgians, and then they don't get hired, and there are Georgians that need jobs.
And some fun facts about Tori Branham. She originally tried to run for state senate back in 2024 for District 20, where she got only 23% of the votes. Like, I honestly think even her own ballot voted against her. She lost so bad in that race that her concession speech was in the back of an Uber with the driver going, "Ma'am, can you get out of the car, please?" She brags about being a Marine, a firearms instructor, and a business owner. And yet somehow her biggest achievement is being the world's first Karen with foreign policy consequences. And for those of you who don't know, she's also running for Congress for Georgia's District 12. And if this entire politics thing doesn't work out for her, I hear Walmart is always hiring door greeters. Because at least in that position, she gets to fulfill her fantasy of checking everyone's papers. She's living proof that you don't need talent, intelligence, or charisma to start an international incident, just a phone, racism, and a losing record. And in conclusion, she's also living proof that she's a failed Facebook comment section that grew legs. Anyways, Tori, have the day that you deserve. Bye.
So the update on the lady that called ICE on the Hyundai plant, the South Korea Hyundai plant, that we begged them for years to come here, that is supposed to bring at least $21 billion to Georgia. The update is it has caused an international crisis. Update on the Hyundai plant in Georgia that had the largest ICE raid in United States history, where that one MAGA Trump supporter, Tori Branham, reported this factory that wasn't even open, a battery factory, brought here to bring jobs to Georgia in the 12th district. The governor is flying to South Korea. Now let me tell you, not one country is bringing any manufacturing here. In fact, today I announced that Detroit scrapped a $50 million factory that took 3 years to plan. Scrapped it due to Trump and tariffs. Subaru is pulling out of the United States all but 10% of their manufacturing. Manufacturing is down right now catastrophically. He is ruining the United States of America. And your elected officials, Republicans, are allowing this while you are paying them to do nothing.
That lady who called ICE on those South Koreans at the Hyundai plant in Georgia, South Korea responded. Yeah, y'all remember this lady who claimed to call ICE because the union workers couldn't get jobs. They weren't allowing Americans to get jobs. But really, it was just South Koreans bringing over people to build this Hyundai plant in order to set it up and get Americans to come and learn how to set up these Hyundai parts. Yeah, she's made a fool of herself. Over $300 billion was invested to bring South Koreans over, build up this Hyundai plant so that they can open up jobs to Americans to come in and learn from these South Koreans in order to build jobs, manufacturing, and all that for Americans. And she called ICE and got them detained and shackled. South Korea had to come and tell our government to unshackle their workers, who, mind you, again, they were on visas. They had work visas to be over here. South Korea told America, unshackle them. We're sending a charter plane. I know they like to say, oh, we sent a charter plane to bring them back to South Korea. No, South Korea sent that charter plane, not America. This is why I say racism is it's just so, you can't do nothing but laugh at racism. Because this lady, I think her name is like Tori Bonyuni or something like that, Burnuni. This lady has nothing tied to this Georgia plant. Nothing tied to the car industry. Nothing tied to any manufacturing industry ever. So my question is, and it's always the case, I swear to you, this is always the case when stuff like this happens. It's always by somebody that has no ties to any type of job. Their job isn't even related to the manufacturing. So why do you care? Why did she feel so obligated enough to go out of her way and do this? She has since then deleted her account. She tried to make multiple videos accounting or trying to back up like she didn't do it. She said a video, well, it wasn't actually me who called ICE. You came on this internet and made this video for what? I don't know. Did you expect people to rally behind you? Because it was the dumbest decision and it cost America billions of dollars. And again, she had zero ties to this. I doubt she knew anyone who even wanted to be in that manufacturing position. In fact, even if she claims she did, and if anyone claims that we were waiting on jobs, you couldn't even work the job because you don't have the knowledge or information on how to build this plant. So South Korea responded. They said that they're not doing it. South Korea said that they're done. If y'all don't know, the people in South Korea, they're protesting this. They're telling South Korea to not bring these people back. Billions of dollars is going down the drain for America. Over 8,000 jobs are gone now, all because of the decisions of one person. And she came on the internet and thought that she did the right thing. She did not think that this was the case. She thought that she was detaining other immigrants, the bad ones. It's crazy, man. The stuff that we have to deal with, the stuff that we have to go through for the next 3 years, it's still the first year. We haven't even gone through a whole year. Y'all stay positive though, man. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.
I feel like this Hyundai plant fiasco is the perfect metaphor for MAGA, right? Because MAGA will act on ignorance, they will act on hatred, xenophobia, they will act on all of those things before they do anything else. And what ends up happening ultimately is all of these acts prohibit them from acquiring knowledge. Like that is exactly what's happening here. So Tori here, who I'm calling Karen Brockovich because she thinks she's on this crusade to save Americans, when she's really just a Karen. She acts upon her hatred. She acts upon her ignorance. She doesn't even know what the plant is doing, what they're building, what they're there for. She doesn't know. But she just acts. She just acts upon her hatred and intolerance and calls ICE. As we all know, this entire fiasco happens and now South Korea is picking up, or probably already has picked up, their nationals to take them away. But why were they here? They were here for something called a knowledge transfer. And that is exactly that. They were here to take the knowledge from their brains, and we're here to transfer that knowledge. Give that knowledge to other people so that then those people hopefully could do something good with that knowledge. And the good that could have been done through that knowledge was to create countless jobs, to bring money to that area, create infrastructure. The possibilities were endless. But no, because Tori decided that her hatred was more important, she has now roadblocked the knowledge for countless people. Now, because this hatred has been acted upon, the knowledge, it's not available anymore. And the people who could have shared this knowledge that you ultimately would have benefited from, they're no longer here either. And despite the fact that so much good could have been done from this knowledge transfer, people like Tori and MAGA decide day after day that their hatred is more important. Their intolerance is more important. And ironically, it is they themselves who suffer the consequences of their actions time and time again. It's like that saying, cutting off your nose to spite your face. Well, how's your face now, Tori? Because it's being splashed all over international news and not for a good reason.
I don't think William Tecumseh Sherman did as much damage to the state of Georgia as that woman who called ICE on Hyundai and their employees, had them all detained, and now South Korea is throwing a massive fit. They sent their own citizens down to train Americans so that they could be fully functional in this factory. Trump and MAGA complain all the time. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? They're overseas. Bring them back to America. And then when we finally do, some dumbass, ass idiot calls ICE and has these people detained. Now South Korea has sent a plane, picked up all their asses, and who knows if they're ever coming back. This is going to take 8,000 plus jobs away from the state of Georgia, and possibly many more, and all this manufacturing that they would have had, all the money this would have generated for the state of Georgia and our country is now potentially gone, and that may just be that little portion. There could be more significant backlash coming from South Korea, Hyundai, any other South Korean company who was thinking of bringing jobs over to America is going to think twice now, because some idiot decided to call ICE. They decided to call ICE on these people and have 400 plus human beings who have done nothing illegal detained. Good job. And this woman is running, I believe, for Congress. Yeah, have fun with that. Republican, Democrat, whatever. I can't imagine anybody in the state of Georgia is on board with what that foolish person did. So, yeah, Sherman may have burned his way to Atlanta, but you set Georgia ablaze as well.
I just watched the videos from that lady who reported the 450 Hyundai plant workers in Georgia, and I know this is not the point, but I could not get past that ass pronunciation.
452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant.
Where are you getting that extra syllable from?
The only people that are mad about this raid in Elabelle, Georgia at the Hyundai mega site.
It's Hyundai. I mean, the company's only been in the United States since 1986. You've had 39 years to get it right. Again, I know it's not the point, but Shiba. Also, I hope that this is a wake-up call for conservative Koreans and conservative Korean Americans. I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise, but a surprise, this administration is not on your side. I just saw a video of a Charlie Kirk event in Korea. Like, what the fuck are you doing as a Korean person fanning out over Charlie Kirk? Anyways, it's been ice yesterday, fuck today, and fuck tomorrow. This is sad news, not only for those Hyundai plant workers, but this is going to have terrible repercussions for the local economy in Georgia, and it's terrible for future Korea and U.S. relations. Absolute major L all around.
The only people that are mad about this raid in Elabelle, Georgia at the Hyundai mega site are probably people that don't pay taxes.
Shut up, loser. When you think MAGA can't be any dumber, they up it. They up the ante every time. LG and Hyundai are Korean companies, correct? You can correct me in the comment section, but I'm pretty sure they're both South Korean companies, right? And so Trump worked out a deal where they bring some of their manufacturing over to the United States. They settled in Georgia, which is good for Georgia's economy. It's also good for the local workers as well, for them to be able to get a job. I want people to understand something. When you bring a company over from another country, it is not uncommon for them to bring workers that actually know. Those workers, 9 times out of 10, are not just working the lines. They're training people. They're training people to get the job done, okay, the way that they want to do it. It's creating more jobs. And I live in Douglasville, so I'm right next to Carrollton, right? It's not even done yet. I don't think the warehouses and stuff are actually done, but they're coming over here to work on the cars, but also they're building out more buildings here in this little countryside. So, baby, you stop them from working. You know, South Korea is like, we're going to bring them home. The people that know how to do this, we're going to bring them home. That's going to also slow down production. Yeah, we're going to get them to f*** up out of there before they get hurt. Which is going to f*** up other foreign agreements, which is going to f*** up other things because they see how you guys treat foreigners. Y'all, that racism and bigotry is expensive. And we're about to pay the price.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Now, this is quite an update that we're getting in regards to this Hyundai plant drama. Now, I wanted to cover this a couple weeks ago, but with all of the Charlie Kirk and then eventually the Jimmy Kimmel events that kind of had to get pushed to the back burner, unfortunately, but I definitely did not want to forget to cover it. Now, we've all suspected that this was going to happen, and I don't blame South Korea for potentially wanting to just cut all ties with America with this battery processing plant, because I mean the EV industry is a huge booming market right now. It's probably going to be the future in how we're going to manufacture cars. And I mean, this would have been a major deal to be able to have a huge processing plant for EV vehicles and batteries here in the United States. Now that is in jeopardy, all because of this one woman and what she decided to in her mind, think that was going to be the right thing to do because she wanted to appeal to her constituents. But her racism definitely backfired on her. Now she's getting a whole bunch of backlash now that the South Koreans are potentially wanting to back out of this deal and just halt all proceedings in this plant opening. I'm even hearing rumors that they may potentially consider opening the plant in Mexico or Canada. And I wouldn't be surprised. And I mean, as much as it would hurt the United States, I feel like I think that should happen because this will be another result of somebody who think they're high and mighty and think that they're above anyone trying to come into the United States from another country to help improve the job opportunities in the area. This one woman, because of her racism and because she wants to appeal to her constituents, like I just said, thought that she could come in and just throw a wrench in all of those plans. So I really do hope that they end up deciding to cancel, because think about it, this was almost 9,000 jobs, 8,500 around that number to be exact. Think about how many people that would affect in that community. Now, I'm sure this area is like a really small town type of area. I'm not sure what metro area this town is a part of, but 8,500 jobs, that's probably half of the population of this one town, potentially even more. Imagine if this project would be able to see its completion and then eventually open up and those jobs were to become available. Now, this woman just completely dismantled all hope of that. Even the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, is going to South Korea, probably essentially to beg for the South Korean president or the CEO of Hyundai. I'm not sure which, maybe have to talk to both, is going to have to beg and plead for them to not close down shop, because even he knows that this woman messed up all plans for Georgia, because if this falls through, it's going to fall back on him too, let alone just this one lady running in a red county. And I think I read through some of the comments that she's running unopposed, but I think I also did see a comment saying that there's another Republican that might be running against her. So just think that this lady may actually be able to win a seat. And I think in my previous video, I was wrong. I don't think she's running for a state seat. I think she's running for Congress. So this woman could potentially get into Congress and spread this type of narrative amongst people in Washington, D.C., as if there's not enough of it already there. So I hope the constituents in this area, I hopefully somebody, if she is running unopposed, will eventually just kind of hop into the race. I know it's not easy, but I mean, just think if this woman is just going to be able to walk into Congress without anyone running against her. Just think, a woman who cost the country billions of dollars, not just Georgia, the whole country, because of course this would have helped, the economy for the US as well. And who knows what this would have led to if it would have successfully been able to progress into the plant actually opening. Now it's another country whose relationship with the US is already going to look a little iffy. And even Trump, I'm gonna give Trump a little thumbs up for this. Even he said, I think this was about a few weeks ago when it first happened. I think that he even said, oh, well, they had to go there to be able to train the workers to be able to open up the plant, something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. So even Trump will probably be highly upset, because I think this was one of the projects he wanted to see through, because he knows how much money is involved in this. So I'm gonna give Trump a thumbs up for that, because he even realized the severity of this happening, what it's gonna do in the end and in the long run. The lady eventually ended up just deleting her whole account, deleting that video that started it all. And I'm like, no, you should have kept it up. You thought you were big and bold to come onto this internet and say that you turned them in, and you were proud about it too. Now that everybody is all in your personal life and like dogging you out online and saying the harshest comments to you. And I kind of feel like, as one of the videos mentioned, ICE is to blame for this too, because of course we don't know how long allegedly this lady Tori and her reporting it to ICE, and ICE actually going there, how long it actually took. I wasn't able to find it, and maybe somewhere like the amount of time passed between the report and them actually going to detain all of the workers. But I feel like I should have done their due diligence into this, since this was a huge project. And I mean, this ties closely to the government, because this wouldn't be able to happen if it weren't for the government. So I should have done their due diligence instead of just raided without any type of warning, or like with no way for the plant or the subcontractors, Hyundai, anybody to at least provide any documentation that may have prevented all of this from happening. So who knows what's really going to happen? I don't think that it's going to be good. I think they're going to probably eventually pull out of this deal. Now, I don't know, maybe the governor is going to sweet talk them or make a whole bunch of promises. Who knows what they are going to do to try to renegotiate and to try to entice them to stay with the proceedings in the plant. So who knows if they're going to be able to convince South Korea into staying and letting the project progress and the plant eventually opening. I don't know, but really don't blame South Korea for potentially pulling out of this deal, because, I mean, look at how you treat their own citizens who were there just to help. And this is how they get treated. And who knows what ICE did to them after they were detained. It's just crazy to think about, but this lady is going to have to reap what she sows, and I hope she learns a lesson from this. A lot of the time, we know MAGA doesn't really like to learn lessons, but this lady needs to step back and learn not to meddle in other people's business. This had nothing to do with her. Now, if something really did happen and like people were being exploited, like I said in the other video, yeah, that needs to be checked upon. We can't just let people be exploited for harsh working conditions. But she had no idea, and she should have just stayed out of it. Now look at her. She's getting all type of hate online, and I just hope she does not win that congressional seat, because that county is going to be in trouble. If she costed that county no, not even millions, billions of dollars, she's going to wreak a whole bunch of havoc if she gets that congressional seat and gets to go to DC. But anyway, that's all I have. Definitely let me know what you guys think about this down below, about this update. Again, I'm personally not surprised, but let me know how you feel about it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because that will really let me know that you enjoy my content. And that'll also help get this video pushed out into the algorithm to where more people could be aware of what's going on a lot of these issues. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye. See you later.